Alright, so sorry if this one cuts up a little rough. I'm doing this without a script, but I thought I needed to talk about this game, Fallen Frontline. I posted a video about an event earlier, and I'm concerned about the future of this game. Now, look at this. This game has wonderful art, wonderful sound design, really good music. But there are some problems with this game, and I think that is why it definitely seems to be on the decline. Now, what's one problem with this game? Okay, this is kind of a post-apocalyptic sci-fi, waifu collector game. Okay, but what is it that really drives interest in a game like this? It really has to be the story, the narrative, because no amount of aesthetics can, in my opinion, really sustain interest in a game, no matter how nice it looks, no matter how good the QOL is, if there's not some sort of reason to care about the characters. Now, I talk about Nikke, Goddess of Victory, all the time, and there's a reason, even though it has flaws. That's something that Nikke does really well. Another game is Neural Cloud. These games do it really well. The world building in those games extends to the narrative. It is not just aesthetics and nice paintings for screen transitions and attractive character design like this one has. It is that, say, in Nikke, for example, they do event stories that are genuinely touching, that really bring you into the world of the Nikkes and the Ark. And if that means that you have a situation where you've got combat that doesn't really have anything to do with the story, like in, a recent event, that's something I can overlook because the story there is bringing you into the emotional life of the characters. This game dropped the story after a few episodes, after a few chapters or whatever, and I was wondering if it was a bug in the game. As far as I remember, I actually posted in the Discord wondering if that was a bug in the game. It was so just weird to me that they would just abandon the story, because I was into the story, because I get that way. Neural Cloud is another great example of this. You have interesting characters, you've got a narrative that's got some mystery to it. The narrative in Nikke and Neural Cloud is not just cobbled together. It's not just, the Dark Lord showed up and then the good crystal was fractured, we have to retrieve the pieces of the crystal of goodness or whatever stuff. Another thing, okay, they really just, in Fallen Frontline here, honestly, they didn't make much effort in the gameplay. I felt like they wanted it to be an aesthetic experience first, and the gameplay took a back seat to that. The combat, not too interesting, and they knew, right? They knew. They put a skip button in from the beginning. You didn't even really have to unlock it, if I recall. So they knew the combat wasn't interesting. There was no real choices to make in the combat or anything like that. And even visually, it wasn't all that exciting. If you're going to make a game an aesthetic experience, you've got to go all in. Just go hard on that. Go as hard as possible. Like, Memento Mori is a great example of that. That game is like, well, this is not really about the gameplay. This is just about going literally as hard as possible in the aesthetic direction. So the voice acting, top. The art, both top and very innovative and different from the mobile game space, art that you typically see. The music, top. Everything about Memento Mori makes it for a very wonderful aesthetic experience. That said, it's not on my phone right now. Because, again, there's only so much you can do with that kind of thing. But it's interesting for a while. Another one, and let me say, Promise of Lingyun does everything perfectly. That is just the most beautiful mobile game I've played maybe ever. And it has the aesthetics, it has the story, it has the characters. That's really, right now for me, the standard of what this type of game can be. Okay, so back to Fallen Frontline. It's okay. Maybe it's good. Maybe. And I don't know. Maybe the devs had a bit of a vision and then something fell off. Maybe they ran out of money and had to push the game out and then started collecting, money from packs and things and got tired of it. I don't know. I haven't tried to interact with the devs or anybody, and in fact I left the Discord a while back and I haven't been back there since. This is a re-download. I got, whatever happened to Fallen Frontline? I'm curious. Let me go check on the game. And what I found was a game that's still there, still doing events. The app functions, but the community isn't functioning. And I think we can figure out maybe why that happened.